the sun goes down, Sacramento lights up. Bold, smart, unpredictable. Join Sky Alton as he shines a spotlight on the stories, the talent, and the everyday moments that makes our community amazing. And now please welcome Sky Alton.
Welcome to another episode of Everyday Amazing. I am your host, Sky Alton, of course. Tonight we are welcoming an artist from Sacramento who truly does it all. She is a powerful singer, a talented songwriter, and a vocal coach who helps others find their own voice. Her authenticity and dedication to the craft shines through in everything she does. Let's take a look at some of her work.
Go.
This is really cool. I'm really excited to be awarded and recognized. I was excited to be nominated, so this is really, really cool. And in my Sacramento community is amazing. Thank you to DOA for producing this amazing record. Hey! And trusting me with my pen and my vocals on it, and I'm really grateful. So. Thank you, guys.
Smoother than my favorite moves, fresh on the body approved, feeling like the floor tonight is mine. Season giving me a range, wake up sunlight in my face, feels like everything is going right. Keeping the temperature high, this ain't no plain black and white.
All right. I was moving and grooving behind the scenes. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Miss Elle Nikole. You don't want to miss it.
Everyday Amazing with Sky Alton.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Elle Nikole to the show. How are you feeling?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm not too bad. First of all, thank you for taking the time to come on the show.
Of course.
So my first question that stands out, you're from Sacramento, correct? You're born and raised here?
Yes.
Okay, so how did being from Sacramento shape you as an artist?
So I grew up here. I grew up singing and kind of being around music, or grew up around music. My dad plays the bass guitar, and so there's always music in the house. Usually kind of like the old, like funk, Earth, Wind and Fire, everything that has like a heavy bass was always in the house. And he also sings a little bit. So I feel like I kind of just took all that in as a kid and kind of figured out how to make it my own as I got older. But even growing up, I was involved in like vocal lessons. I would do showcases. If there was a talent show, I probably tried it. So my parents are really supportive in kind of helping me explore my dream and what it could look like for me in the future. So I'm grateful that I had a family that was, really supportive of it. And this is home. It's always home. I left to go to college, to another I went to Atlanta for college. So I'm grateful that I've always had this as a foundation to come back to, because it did shape me and give me the confidence to go out and sing and go after this dream.
Now, coming from a music family, would you say this was something that that you were raised to kind of pursue music, or did they kind of, because obviously sometimes when your parents do something, sometimes you learn to do it regardless, because it's like, hey, we do this, so even if you don't want to do it for a living, you have to still know how to do this. Or was it more like, we do this, but you don't have to be interested in this at all, like you are free to kind of like do whatever you want to do. So which, you know, for you, would you say that like they wanted you, kind of give you that nudge, or would you say like, hey, like if you want to do music, you can, but we're not, you know, worried about it if you don't?
Yeah. So neither of my parents did music for a living.
Okay, they just...
My dad played. He just always loved to play and
Got
sing.
it.
My dad is a CPA.
Okay, all right. So
And
yeah.
my mom has always worked in banking. So
Okay.
so my parents are very like, you know, left brain into the money side of things.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I came out as a right brain child. So they obviously like supported my music dreams, but they were never like, you know, you have to go into this by
Right.
any means.
Okay.
They wanted me to be able to like take care of myself. So it was
Got
probably
it.
more
Okay.
of a, you like this thing, this is cool, but make sure you can pay your bills.
So it's almost like a third option is like, hey, we play music, but we don't do it professionally. You don't have to do this professionally, just so you know,
Yeah,
whatever. Make sure,
yeah.
okay, I like that.
They never made me feel like I had to do it.
Okay,
They
so
supported it.
then my question becomes, when did you realize music was more than just a hobby for you?
I don't know, I tried a lot of things as a kid. I tried soccer. I like ran track for a short period of time. I tried out for a volleyball team, didn't make it. But singing just always stuck, and I just kept doing it. I think I started taking lessons at like 11.
Okay.
And in the midst of all the other like sports things I did, singing just stuck. And I think I got to a point where I had to pick between singing or like track, and because I had rehearsals and like showcases and stuff like that, and that was a really easy choice because I was like, I don't like running like that. So I just picked singing, and that in high school that was kind of like the main thing, and that was when I had the most going on, I think, with it. And I was in a girl group in Sacramento as a teenager.
What was the name of the group?
Then it was called Legacy.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
Legacy.
And then we ended up having shows. I think we did the State Fair a couple times and like different festivals in Sacramento. So that was really fun. And we got really good feedback from it. And so as a teenager, it was like, oh, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
So then who were your earliest influences music-wise, like as you were?
So I would say, firstly, probably my parents, just based on the music that they played. And I don't think I realized that until I got older, because I was just like, oh, this is my parents' old music. But now I love the songs. Like I love songs from the 70s and the 80s. And then I love 90s R&B, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think first would probably be my parents. Second would be Beyonce.
Okay, all right.
Beyonce, Destiny's Child. Just because I loved them growing up also, and would try to do exactly what Beyonce did. I tried to copy the runs exactly. I studied them. And then as I got older, I got my own voice a little bit. And then, yeah, I'd probably say that's kind of where I started. I love their harmonies, so I can tell that I infuse some of that into the recordings that I do. Yeah.
Okay. So then my next question that pops into my head, first of all, good choice, Beyonce. I mean, you can't go wrong, as you know, of who you would want to follow, career-wise. But what's going through your mind emotionally when you step on stage and perform?
Honestly, I have to first talk myself out of being nervous.
Okay, that's
So
good.
anytime I get ready to perform, I'm usually you get nervous about it because you're putting yourself out there in front of people. So first, I can't say that I'm nervous out loud. I can't tell anybody that I'm nervous. It's almost like I have to psych myself out that this is what you do. And so I do that first. And then I'm thinking about, okay, what am I singing? What do I want people to feel when I finish? So I have to embody that. What story am I telling? So I try to make sure even before I get to performance day, if I'm practicing my performance, I want to know what story I'm telling. And I've had good coaches in the past who've helped me kind of get that formula together.
What I like about that is very honest of to speak and say like, hey, I still get nervous between like, you know, performances. Because sometimes, you know, we have this expectation like, oh, you know, she does this, she's a professional, she's out there performing. I'm pretty sure, you know, she's fine these days. You know, like we have this idea when you're professional something that like, you just do this, so therefore, what makes you professional is you don't feel the way that normal people feel when they go out and they do something for the first time, which can not, you know, shows that that's not always true. You know, sometimes like people still get nervous every performance, or you know, they go through the anxiety, or they go through all the same things that you feel when you first perform. You can still have, you know, like later on, or for some people like through their whole career. I remember, I think it was like Sia said that she liked performing with her eyes closed or face covered because she would get so like anxiety, and so facing the crowd didn't allow her to really show off her talents. But if she just performed and she didn't have to see anybody, like if she turned her back to the crowd and just performed, she could sing brilliantly. So I just think it's very amazing when artists can be very real and raw about that. So
I don't think I ever don't get nervous. I think I learned how to mask it, or learn how to, like, if you perform enough, you're like, okay, I know what performing looks like. I know like how to turn it on, but I'm still like, you're nervous the whole time.
Okay.
It's like, okay, I can walk across the stage, I can like look cute, but hopefully you guys like it. Like,
Okay, so then is there a performance that stands out as a turning point in your career? It doesn't even have to be a turning point in your career. It can just be a performance that stands out as like maybe one of the most memorable performances for whatever reason to you.
So I think, so I mentioned I grew up singing. I grew up doing showcases all over the place. And then I went to Atlanta for college.
Okay.
So I went to school, got a job, was more so like just a young professional living in Atlanta. And so had a great time, but I think like my music consistency was not there. Like I would, you know, I'd pop up at studios, I'd like sit in, work with people, but like the consistency that I had of like training and all that stuff out here wasn't there. And so I think like 2019-ish or 2018, I signed up to do like a performance series in Atlanta, and I hadn't really done solo shows in Atlanta. I was doing bands. I was doing like party bands.
Okay.
So I would sing cover songs and stuff. And so I signed up to do a like sing my own songs in 2018. It was 2019. I didn't have my own songs out. So I think it was 2018 I did covers.
Okay.
And so I did that, and that was really fun. There were not that many people there at all, but I was like, I have to do more like solos, shows of stuff that I want to do, stuff that I want to sing. And so I think that launched me into like getting consistent with that again. And then the pandemic happened. So then I was like, what do I do now? So I was like, I set all these goals. I'm like, I'm doing the shows, I'm signing up for the gigs, and then there's no gigs. So then I was in my house, I got quiet, I like started writing. And I think prior to the pandemic, I released one song. That was my first song I ever released because I learned like, oh, we can do this ourselves. And then I didn't have anything to do. I'm just in the house. So I'm writing and writing and writing, and that's it. And so I remembered how much I loved writing because again, I wasn't as consistent with my craft during those young professional years.
Right.
And I just did it every day. I was writing all the time. And that I think launched me into, since then, I've been like super consistent with writing, releasing, kind of just doing something to stay in motion. Even if I have to pivot or something, I'm always doing something.
Okay. And just to kind of give yourself some credit with it, I mean, you were a young professional, you were in college, and you know what I mean? So it's not you were working, so it's not like, and I can understand, I'm pretty sure a lot of people out there can relate to, yes, you have your goals and your dreams of like, you're pursuing this, but you also still got to pay bills, you also still have to, you know, have a life outside of that. And so the consistency part is a lot of people's challenge because in our mind, we would love to just do this all day, every day. But even me, like I still have other things that I have to do outside of this. I'm not at the place I would want to be just yet. But you know, like you keep in and work, you figure out a way to kind of still be in motion towards your goals and dreams in some form, right? So like
Yeah.
writing was like, okay, well, I'm not performing like I would like to be, but
Pivot and find something else.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think I was as good at pivoting when I was younger. It was just like, it's not working, forget it. Where or I'm a little bit more mature and I could say like, okay, that's not working. Let me cry real quick and then I'll find a pivot.
okay. We're going to talk more about your songwriting, but before we get into that, I want to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Everyday amazing with Sky Alton.
Hi, it's personal injury attorney Ann Fong from Sacramento, California. Check out our episode on Everyday Amazing with Sky Alton.
Everyday amazing with Sky Alton.
Welcome back to the show. We are still here with Miss Elle Nikole, and before we went to break, we were talking about songwriting. And so something that stands out to me is like, where do you draw inspiration for your songwriting?
Probably just living.
Okay.
Yeah, just living and experiencing things, talking to people about what they're experiencing. Probably more recently, just trying to paint pictures of how I would like things to be. Like using my imagination. I always say songwriters are allowed to be dramatic. Okay. And being dramatic is a plus for, it's like, you know, people say, oh, you're so dramatic, you're so sensitive. I'm like, well, I write songs. So I think just not being afraid to like make the story more dramatic than maybe somebody told me a story, but I'm like, okay, how do I put 10 on this and make it a song? And 9 times out of 10, somebody's gonna relate to it, and you're just telling a story in a way that they may not have thought to tell it themselves.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, because the song Questions, I was like, this is telling the story. Is this personal or is it?
Well, I think, yeah, and I think that a lot of people have that story. Like, I don't think that's unique to me, but
true.
they may not think to say like, these are all the questions I was asking, and this is what we broke up. Like, this is what I learned. But I think it's super relatable for a lot of people.
It is. It's a great song. Like I said, it's
you.
one of my favorites by you. And so, as I was listening to it and I knew I was going to have you here, I was going to be like, the stuff that she went through. Because sometimes, we have these images of people and stuff like that, and we'd be like, I wonder, there's a story probably behind that. What's the story behind this song or whatever, Not to like Summer Walker you to, what I mean? It's kind of like one of those things. It's like we want to know, the inspiration behind, some of these songs that make us feel something, So yeah, it's good to know that, like I said, it's a little bit dramatic, but it's still personal to, some of the stuff that you've been through. My next question for you is, how do you help your students? Because obviously you're a coach, right? You help people. Okay. So how do you help your students build confidence and not just technique?
So I try to approach coaching less like a judge of people's abilities.
Okay.
I think the music industry is really harsh, and people steer away from performing, from sharing, and all of that because they're just afraid, because it is harsh. You see shows like American Idol and stuff like that, and you're like, oh, I don't want to do that. But what if you really could sing, if you had like some tools in your pocket? Or if you just had confidence, like maybe you're a good singer already, and I'm more so coaching you on like, just do it. Don't think about it so much, just do it. And if you don't do it, you're not gonna see progress. If you keep doing it, all you're gonna do is see progress. Like, you can't not see progress if you are continuing to show up. So I think it just comes with doing, and I tell people like, just practice, just do it.
Yeah.
Like vocal lessons, you're supposed to sound bad. Like you're not supposed to sound really good, because we're supposed to work together to figure out, okay, why does it sound bad? What's happening in here to make it sound bad? And then we fix it, and then you're like, wow. So I think just really coaching people to just do the stuff. If you want to sing, sing. Do it. Like, don't let people talk you out of it.
That's good. I mean, I that's very relatable. I've had people ask me about, how do you start a show? What steps do you take? And, first I always give, similar to what you said, you first start by learning about about it, right? Like, and what you want to do, what that looks like. But then you'll never get better unless you just start it and you actually like do it, you know? And so I think that's very solid advice for any field that you're in, right? A lot of times, like, there's lots of talented people like that we run into that's all around us. Part of why I do what I do and started my show to highlight that. But also, it's a lot of times it's opportunity, right? Opportunity, and then just like you said, the confidence to actually start and put in the work. And I feel like if more people, like you said, had that confidence, then maybe they'll get a chance to shine.
Yeah. I think about like other hobbies I've taken up, and I've like, maybe I felt like, oh, I'm not good at this at first, but I literally just kept showing up to do it, and over time you're like, oh, I got better at it. Who knew? Like, you don't see it in the moment, but if you can like build systems and habits to like keep doing it, you're gonna get better.
I like that. So then my next question for you would be, what advice would you give singers who feel insecure about their voice?
I think first I would want to know why. Like, if I was like in a coaching session, I'd be like, well, what are you insecure about? Like, is it the tone? Is it the notes? Like, what is it? And then if it's something that we can like work on together, I would say like, okay, let's do some exercises that work on that specific thing. If they're just in the beginning, just insecure, like they don't even want to sing. I'm like, just sing, just sing. Do you like singing? Sing. And I have to tell myself that too, because I overthink things too. And I'm like, just sing, just go in your room and sing.
Okay, so with that being said, how do you balance being an artist and helping other artists grow?
I think it helps me because it's helped my ear because I'm listening for tone and key and all of that when I'm listening to other people. So when I go back and practice, like my ear for my own stuff is like, oh, that was off, or like I can hear it very clearly. And then I don't know, I work with singers who like to sing different songs, different styles, stuff I may not have thought to like put together. So it also just gives me like just ideas of songs to sing or songs I never heard of. So I think it helps me more so than hurts me. Like it's actually they go together.
I like that.
Yeah.
And to hear you say that is good because it reinforces how I felt and how I got my start. I started behind the scenes and I worked on a lot of different shows. I did a lot of different positions on shows. And so when I eventually started my own, I feel like I had a better understanding and a better respect for each role. And so when someone comes to you and have questions and stuff like that, you can speak to it a little bit better because you've done it and you kind of know a little bit. So then it just makes you a better producer, a better director, a better host, which you don't hear a lot of people say and admit like out loud, like, hey, like, actually, teaching others helps me be better at what I do. You know, it's just like one of those things. I don't hear a lot of professionals always say that. Usually, when they're a teacher, they're like, "Oh, I always wanted to teach," right? But to hear someone who's also an artist saying like, hey, like, if you want to get better as an artist, sometimes like coaching and helping others will help you grow. Because, it's a selfish field sometimes. It can be, right? Where, like you said, the music industry is a machine. And so, you're so focused on trying to get to where you're trying to go, right? And I think what you just said about like, hey, like, I know you want to be here, but if you were helping somebody else, it might actually help you get to where you want to go. And that's a different mindset to kind of like think.
That made me think of like she was my first client and she knows this, but when I first took her on as a client, I wasn't like advertising myself as a vocal coach, really. I had just started training under my coach on how to do it. And she reached out and was like, oh, have you started vocal coaching? And I was like, yes. And she was my first client and we had several sessions together and she actually like, saw the growth and the progress from our lessons. So I was like, okay, bet. Like, I got this. So that was really cool. So it also helps me, like, the more I do it, the more I see people progress and get better. I'm like, oh, okay.
Right? Okay, so then what's your dream collaboration? And it can be somebody who's here still, still here with us, or it can be someone who's passed, but just, musically, and I got a feeling I know what your answer is going to be, but I still would like to hear, you say a dream collaboration, anybody. Yeah.
I don't know if I'd probably get nervous and freeze or something. But yeah, obviously that would be really cool if I could sing just behind her somewhere.
Okay.
But I think, who else? I think of singers that have like similar vocal tones to mine, that I would love to just like either write with or sing with. And one of my favorite singers I always say is Tamia. And I feel like I've listened to her a lot and like, again, kind of learned from listening to how she chooses to sing, notes she chooses, just everything. So if in some point in time I ever got to like meet her and sit down and like work together or just even learn from her, that would be really, really cool. And then thinking of like current artists, I really like Lucky Day. So I would love to like work with him.
He's great. I'm a big
Yeah.
fan of Lucky Day.
Yeah.
Lucky is that guy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I like that. I like good selection.
Yeah.
So before we let you go, there's a game that I like to play, and I actually have enough time to be able to do it. I like to have my guests pull this card, and I have no control over the cards, but I feel like it always works out to where the card that you pull, I feel like you're supposed to pull it for whatever reason, and then it just, we will have you read the card, the question, and answer the question, and
Okay.
we'll see how that
Cool.
goes. So you do that. All right.
What are you most thankful for? I have a list, a lot. I think my community of people in my life. So that's a lot, that could be a ton of people. But I'm just really thankful for my family, and because I'm like home right now, like I'm thankful for the community that like I grew up around, and all the people that have had an impact on my life. I'm not going to say how many years. All the people that have had an impact on my life.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So before I let you go, I just got to ask, because you are an award-winning artist, what are what are your goals for 2026? Any big plans, any exciting plans you want to share here on the show and announce? And then we'll have you give like your social media to let people know where they can find and learn more about you.
Yeah. So I have more music coming out. Okay. So I haven't confirmed what dates or anything,
All
but
right.
I have more music coming out for sure this year. And then I would like to test out some mini tour type shows. So also trying to figure out dates and what that looks like. But those are two things that I would like to do this year.
All right. Those are good goals, and I'm pretty sure you were going to achieve those, because like I said, you are a very authentic, dedicated person to like her craft, and I don't see, I feel like, I'm gonna look back on this interview and be like, wow, like she's so big now, and I can't even get her to return my calls and come on the show again.
I would never do that, but that's really nice of you to say. Thank you.
Before I let you go, just let people know where they can find you on social media, and
so my Instagram is ELLE.NIKOLE on Instagram and TikTok.
All right. Well, thank you again, Miss Elle Nikole, for coming on the show and giving me your time. Like I said, it's truly an honor to be able to highlight people like yourself, and I can't wait to hear more music.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So yeah.
Thank you for having me. This was really fun.
Of course, of course. And to the people out there, thank you so much for watching and supporting another great episode of Everyday Amazing with Sky Alton. Until next time, I'll see you then.